Garrick calls. 1.2 million in the middle. It's a 10. Oh my God, Chino's made trips. A lot of Michaels at the table today. Confusing. Thoughts on Chino as a player? I mean, very accomplished in terms of his results. Clearly difficult to play against. Too aggressive, though, I think. Like, from a technical point of view, playing too many hands in too many positions, calling the turn especially, like, too many hands in the turn, dude. Way too many. Like, continuing to the river, hero calling down. I mean, easier said than done. He's won way more live huge titles than I have, played in higher stakes games than I've ever played, for sure. Like, you know, who am I to tell him? But that's my take, that I think from a fundamental point of view, too aggressive in a lot of spots. And the way to exploit it would be to just bluff less and value bet more, and win, basically. But we're six-handed here, and we have 2 open seats, so let's see. Let's see. Can you give us some tips for studying tournaments? I need new study methods from TU Buck. Well, for high-level training, I use training sites, TU Buck, which have great videos to re-up on your fundamentals. And then they have things like range viewers where you can guess and check, like, what should my opening range be here? What should my 3-betting range be here? So it's, like, really good material that way. But if you aren't a subscriber to training sites, by the way, if you want to be, there's some links below the stream. That's a plug, just so you know. But if you're not and you're, like, newer, check out Party Poker My Game, which is a free resource, measures your game against the correct way to play based on, I think, like a GTO kind of simulation. And we'll tell you, like, hey, you're c-betting way too much, or, like, you're not enough, or you're too aggressive, or you're not aggressive enough. Like, it'll give you tips. So try that. But Danny DeVoris going for the shove with the 10-9 of clubs here. I'm a really big fan of online training sites. Once you want to take your game to the next level, I think it's just a great... it's how I was successful at poker and am successful at poker.
Oh yeah, Joey's game.
Daniel takes it down with the 3-bet all in with the 10-9 of clubs. That's it, man. Going to a live event for the first time tomorrow. Do you have some tips for me? Patience. Live poker is so much slower than online poker, so you're going to feel like you're being a super nit, and you're not. Just relax and let the spots come to you and enjoy. TU Buck, thank you very much for the sub, my friend. I appreciate that. Hearts in the chat for the new subscriber, everyone. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. Jerry. Folds. Daniel is going to fold as well. Is this live? This tournament was played in November, but we are live, me and you. QC to BC. Ah, Quebec to British Columbia. It's got to be, right? QC to BC. It's got to be, man. Welcome. But yeah, this is the 10,000 Caribbean poker party. Happened at the end of November. I haven't seen the coverage before, so we're just doing some re-commentary there. Yosemite, with a tough question, man. Hey, Jamie, could you explain how ICM means in easy words? I've read about it, but I don't really understand it. ICM is just a model, right? So it's a model of thinking about how to correctly make poker decisions. But really what ICM is measuring, or it's trying to measure in this model, is that if you're at a final table, and let's take an extreme example, right? You know, I have 1 million chips. You have 999,999 chips. And there's 3 other people at the table, and they each have 1 chip, okay? Now, let's say the chip leader goes all in for 1 million. This is maybe a bad example. So let's say the top three spots in this tournament all pay the same amount of money. They all pay $10,000, okay? 4th place gets 0, and 5th place gets 0. So again, to summarize, 1 million for the chip leader, me. You have 999,999. You're in second. 3 people have 1 chip, and top 3 get paid the same amount of money, okay? So in that situation, just picture that. The chip leader goes all in, and you look down at aces. What do you do? Well, if you ran that in a poker simulation, it would be like you should call. you're going to pick up chips. You have the best hand in poker. Pick up chips, you call, right? Now, in a tournament where the top 3 spots pay all the same there, it would be a disaster to call because we know the other 3 people in the tournament have 1 chip left. It's extremely unlikely they can out-survive the top 2 spots, right? So you should fold every hand. You should fold every possible hand that you can have there because really, you just need to wait for 2 of those 1 chip stacks to bust because they can never beat you. They're too far behind. So that is basically the difference that ICM is trying to show. Ace Queen against Ace 10 all in here. All right. There's potential outs here. Yeah, Jack for the chop. They're going to chop 16% of the time here. 9 on the turn.
9 on Jack for the chop. Queen for the win. Everything else means Jerry.
14% for the chop. Chino 7% for the win. Aces and kings with a queen kicker. And Jerry is going to double up here. 2.6 million pot. That's pretty big, man. That's pretty big. But anyways, to continue that ICM conversation, like that's what it's measuring. So it's showing you how you should adjust based on the money that's in play. Okay? Because a tournament structure, it doesn't pay the same. It's not like if you double your chip stacks, your stack is worth double. It doesn't work like that. You know, you don't just, it's not winner take all. If it was a winner take all in a tournament, you know, 9 of us bought in for $100, the first place was 900, then there would be no ICM. But when it's 600 for first, 300 for second, you play that differently than if it's 550 for first and 300 for second and then 250 for third or whatever the math works out to. So that's what ICM is measuring. And the basic principles are just you have to call off a lot tighter when stacks are close together on a final table. You have to be tighter. That's my best way of explaining it in an easy way that I can think of, but it's not very good explanation. It's too long. It's not simple enough, so I need to come up with a better way of explaining that for you, but I did my best anyways. Twilight of the Beer God, 14-month resub. Thank you very much, Twilight of the Beer God. You legend, man. Jamie, meetup game soon. I want to give you some more money at some point, man. Kind of busy right now, Twilight of the Beer Gods, but we're going to do it in Scotland. We're going to do it, man. Okay? But not in the short term. Michael going to raise it up with the 8s here in the hijack. Chino on the button with the king jack will call. Is this a stream for people who have never played poker? It can be. It doesn't have to be. But if you have never played poker questions, you can feel free. Sometimes I have to be honest. Sometimes I use poker jargon that you might not know what I'm talking about because it's just such a habit for me. Because it's how I've spoken for the last 10 years, you know? Like when I say c-bet, when I say flop, like these terms that poker players know, non-poker players don't know. Sometimes it's hard for me to be like the 3 community cards down on the flop and I'm going to continuation bet, continue the aggression from before the 3 community cards on the flop. Like it's hard to do that sometimes for me, but I do my best sometimes. So on the turn here, Daniel DeVoris has a pair of 4s. Michael with a pair of 8s is in second place, and Chino with King Jack has got the lead. I don't know if Chino's going to be able to get any money here or will even bet. Michael checks. Chino checks to the river. King! Okay. It looks like a fancy card. Chino has 2 pair. Everyone else has nothing. Daniel checks. Michael probably thinking about, like, should I bluff here or not? Anyway, we could mute you and listen to the real announcers. Yeah, you can go to Party Poker Live YouTube channel, Mr. Profit, which is where these are released. So you go to the Party Poker Live YouTube channel. You can watch these videos whenever you want with the announcers that they have paid for. So you have the option there if you prefer to watch it on your own time. But if you're digging the commentary as well and the chill, we will be doing commentary of the whole tournament. Not back-to-back, but day 2, day 3, and the final day 4 as well.
Does exactly the right thing.
Chino calls, Daniel folds, and there it is. Chino correctly sniffing out the bluff. Michael trying to bluff with the 8s, which I respect. I mean, it's a bit of heart for sure. Get down to Nottingham for the meetup. I gotta do one in Nottingham, man, for sure. Would you start to play poker for real money straight away, or free sites apps a viable option? As we get a chip overview here of these 6.
Blinds now.
Blinds at 30K, 60K.
60K. Daniel drops
So
low.
at this point in my life, I would start playing for like small money, you know. Really, you should always play with something you can afford. But to me, as a 28-year-old, like I would be okay investing like $100 or $200 for my entertainment a month, for example. You know, so I'd want to play like $2 tournaments, $5 tournaments, $5 sit and goes and stuff like that because it's more entertaining. But if you're super uncomfortable with that, like don't think that you never played poker before. You're gonna hop online, play a $5 tournament, and you're like the best player in the field. You're not. You know, like you have to gain experience. You gotta understand over the long run, you might lose $1 of that $5, even though sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. But over time, you could get good enough to win. So for me, my approach would be play the small stakes right off the bat and learn that way because it's more fun. But you could also do it the other way too. You can play for play money for a couple weeks, and then you can play like 10-cent tournaments, and then you can play 50-cent tournaments, and like it's up to you. Really, that would be my approach to those. Flick in some small ones, you know. We got a home game on this channel every Friday night. It's $5 buy-in on Party Poker, and then we add a bunch of prizes. So even if you suck, it's probably profitable for you because there's a $25 bounty on my head. There's other tournament tickets, etc. So like, yeah, mix around in that stuff. That's how I would go.
Jerry, King 8 raising up. But Michael King.
Cheers, Binky Winks. Awesome, man. Glad to hear that. Jerry's going to raise it up the button with the King 8. Michael Gagliano, 3 bets with the King 3. I like this. I like this 3 bet. King 3 offsuit is a crappy hand. But I think you need to re-raise out of the big blind quite a bit. And I don't enough. This is one of my leaks in my games that I'm trying to fix. I'm not 3-betting enough out of the big blind. And Gag's showing it off here, saying, hey, I'm going to put in the 3-bet. Put some pressure on you, Jerry. And we can see Gagliano has the worst hand, but I bet he's going to win the spot. I suspect he will. There it is. Boss move. I think Gagliano's playing very well. Would you recommend tourneys or cash games starting out? I love tournaments. I just think they're more fun. Minnesota guy. But when I started out, I played a bunch of things. I played, you know, Omaha. I played mixed games. I played no limit cash. I played sit and goes. I played tournaments. I would have played spins if they were a thing when I started. Like, I tried all sorts of things, and I found out I liked tournaments the most. I would do the same thing today if I was starting. It's just like, just try different formats, see how they work. Like, I like how long that is. I like the kind of players. I like kind of stack depths, the strategy in that. It's all fun. Tony Filoni with the ace-4 of diamonds under the gun. Come on, Tony. Let's get some action here, man. 6-handed.
All right, Tony, ace-4 diamonds under the gun.
There's the raise up to 120,000.
Back into the action. Very tough.
Action on Chino now with Jack-7 of clubs.
Chino
3 bets going in. Chino RHEEM. Up to 350. 350.
The least experienced player here. The 3-bet Jack-7 of clubs in the next seat. This is what Chino does.
Takes it down. Oh, no, wait. He doesn't. It's back on Tony. Sorry. I thought he won. He has not. I got it on the wrong side again. There we go. Only 2 players in the pot. Tony doesn't look very happy about this. Chino looks fine. You can tell like the disparity in experience in these big tournament spots. I really don't know anything about Tony. I'm a big fan of Tony. But Chino looks, you know, super cool. Just like, yeah, just a day at the office. But is actually 3-betting in a pretty big pot here. Whoa! Soprano. Dropping the raid for 15 viewers. Thank you very much, Soprano. Appreciate that. Welcome, everyone.
Flopped it. He's completely messed him.
Thank you, thank you.
Chino has to stab all those backdoor draws he has.
Tony checks.
Huge range advantage.
Chino is going to bet 230K. Now action back on Tony. And this is the thing. When you have the aggression preflop and you 3-bet, it's really comfortable to just continue. And with a hand like ace-4, you're worried about, okay, well, my opponent might not have anything. I might have the best hand. But, like, they can easily just have aces. They can have queens. They can have ace-king and king-queen. They can have all these things where I'm just going to have to fold on the turn. So what's the point of putting any money? You know, it's going to cost me. Chino RHEEM with some aggression, taking it down as we see 5 players seated at the table. Okay, there's the 6. I was missing for a second. There we go. Are live micros a thing? They're not. That's the thing about live poker, which is difficult. It's why so many people don't try it, I think, is because the economics of it, they have to pay for a dealer and they have to pay for security and like electricity in a building, right? So live cash games in most places around the world, or most places I've played, start at $1, $2 limits. Sometimes you'll have a $1, $1. Sometimes it won't start at, it'll start at $1, $3. But typically the buy-in for that game is anywhere from $50 up to like $500, with the average buy-in maybe being $150, $200. So when I started playing, I played 1-2 and I bought in for $200. Which is, from a bankroll point of view, that's a lot of money. Like, when I first started playing, that was a huge amount of money for me. Like, I was nervous as hell. Playing $300 pots, like, that is a big deal, you know? But there was no smaller cash game. Like, you just had to start there playing live. Whereas online, you can start at 1 cent, 2 cent for $2. You can start at, $5 game. So, that's a big advantage for online and allows you to sort of gain some confidence and get started, you know? Same with live tournaments, although there is quite a lot of live $40 tournaments, $50 tournaments. And those are very soft. Like, because the problem about those games is the casino has to take a lot of rake to make it profitable. So they often have to take like $10 to make that a profitable endeavor, which means it's $30 to the prize pool and $10 in rake, which means you're paying a huge rake, 25%, or 33%, depending on how you calculate it. It's really tough to beat that, no matter how good you are. So it's not a worthwhile endeavor for a lot of really great players to play those $40, $50 tournaments from a money point of view. People play those for fun because they enjoy poker. They want to try their best to win at tournaments. They might win a bit of money. It's a social thing. But it doesn't work to run a $10 tournament. There's not enough money for the casino. There's not enough incentive for them to do that. So, yeah. We have a 25p game that runs in a local casino. That's amazing, Binky Winks. That's so cool, man. I love that. Well, and it's different in North America, too, because I know here in the UK, like, there's pub games where you can have tournaments that are, really affordable, and it's different. In North America, you're not allowed to have pub games, so... But if you're thinking about trying your local tournament for $50, $40, $35 at the casino, like, I highly recommend it because you're not going to get sharked there. It's generally not a very intimidating atmosphere. And if there's anyone that is like taking it really seriously, it's because the money means a lot to them and they might think they're good, but they're not. Like, they're just not that good yet, Just is what it is. So no one really is elite at those tournaments just because of how they're structured. And you're going to do fine. Even if you're brand new to the game, you're just learning the rules. Like, that's a great spot to learn.
King, 4, ace, 8.
Nice spot for Michael. But then also online, but I'm assuming Minnesota guy, you probably live in Minnesota, in which case you don't have the option to play on Party Poker with us, but... in a lot of spots around the world, I mean, you can join us on our home game on Friday nights, Play a couple hands, try it out. You're not going to be the best player in the field, but it's a good spot to learn. Got some added value in there. It's fun. We stream it, so you might make it on stream.
So they said, that's what they said, we played a 125, so we played on the money today.
That is indeed the plan, Chino.
I have no idea. Did you say that you heard that we're playing the 125 today?
Still waiting for some new players at this table here.
Okay, yeah. So then I guess we're playing to the money, boys. How many?
We have to because the people for day 3 are in the money already.
Say that again.
The online people are in the money already that are coming for day 3.
Texas has members-only poker clubs to circumvent gambling laws and operate semi-legally. Yeah, I've heard about some of those. Heard about some of those clubs.
Jack's in the cutoff. Ace 9.
Do you know how many of those are?
Under 10. It's like 70 or 80 people online, and they play down to like 8 or something.
But that's obviously not included in that
I
number of
believe
948,
it
right?
is.
It is?
Yeah.
The 110? It is
Somebody
included?
said-
So there was an overlay.
Somebody said earlier, well, it wasn't 110. It was 70 or 80.
Keep getting the Queen Dewey, bro.
Green juice is not good.
I believe you.
Someone told me earlier that it was, but I don't know. They announced, they said it's all live and online is in the number, something like that. They said.
Really?
Yeah.
So there was an overlay.
Yeah, it's frustrating, man. It's really frustrating that because poker has really been, it's gotten a bad rap, dude. To be honest, it's not fair the way that it's viewed around the world,
And
and
as we are working our way down towards that money, tables are breaking.
it's just too bad
Faces
because it's such a pure game. It's such a great game,
Oh, boys.
parted by Roberto and Arthur.
What do you
but
got?
people
You got a
group it in
550
with
chip?
problem gambling and group it in with blackjack and sports betting and stuff, and it doesn't. I mean, there's nothing related between those two things, but they're often in proximity in the location that they're played, in which case they are viewed with the same problems by the general public. Which is too bad. All right, so we got 2 new players at the table, and I'm excited, man. What's the story of these 2 new players? Have no idea coming in. So let's see. Gags folds. We don't get a shot on the new players. There we go. All right. I respect the Chicago Bulls retro hat. It's not bad. I like that. We have a player in the 2 seed I haven't got to take a look at yet. I don't know. We'll see.
Only on the
Tony Filoni hanging in there, dude.
a little over 1.5 million.
We got 1.3, around 1.4 million in that stack. Daniel DeVore is going to raise it up to 125. Bagliano folds. Jacob folds, and Tony.
Daniel's
Ace
open.
King,
Tony's
3-bet to
three-bet.
550. All right. Quick action around the table. Back on Daniel DeVoris, who probably won't give action here. It's a very big re-raise from Tony, like 4x, quite big. Very big. What's the password for the Friday home game? Kappa is the password. Kappa. Yep. I know how to play poker, just don't want to mess up rules of the card room. Minnesota guy. People will help you. There's Jacob.
Jacob. Taking Roberto's seat.
Is I don't want to mess up the flag. I think I've got it wrong. And Garrick.
Arthur's
I would have got it wrong, dude.
slightly better looking.
Dude. I should be better than this, man. I don't feel like it's an easy flag. That's not the Russian flag, is it? It's not the Russian flag. Okay, that is... Seat 2 is the Russian flag, but Seat 1 has a different flag, right? Which is like Latvia or something? Jacob. It's a dark red, white, blue. So that's... Is that Latvia? No. Lithuania? No.
150.
Slovenia?
Right.
No. Damn it, dude.
Jerry looks very interested.
Oh, what's the dark red?
40 big blind stack.
Estonia, Latvia.
It doesn't bite. Gets away
Estonia.
from Daniel.
It's not Latvia. It's not Lithuania. It's not Slovenia. What is it, man? What is the flag? It's the Dutch flag. Oh my god, dude. Is it the Dutch flag? Oh my god. Is it the Dutch flag? No! Lex, I'm so sorry. He's Dutch. How did I miss it, dude? I was going all Baltic. It was right in front of my face.
4-3, couple of clubs.
Oh, I am so sorry. To the Netherlands. Lex as well, dude. Man, how did I brick that one, man? I was struggling. Netherlands and Russia. Okay. Michael Gagliano has the nuts. The best hand in the limit hold'em. It's going to go check at the flop. I'm assuming it went raise call, right? Yeah. Raise call, check at the flop, turn as a jack. Does Daniel bet or not bet?
700k behind. Oh. I like to see Gags put out a bet, trying to juice something. Albeit not going to work.
It's time for Michael to bet, I think. You know, once it checks you twice, you need to start getting some money. He wants to get all of Daniel's money as well, but we can see that Daniel isn't going to give it to him with King Deuce of Hearts. Passes. Has been very patient and steady, Daniel DeVoris, this whole time. Good pot for Gagliano, 3.5. This is the guy from Russia. I like the vibe. I have to say, I think the jacket's cool. I think the long collar is cool. And here's our Dutch friend with the retro Chicago Bulls. The circle glasses, I respect it. I have some shorts made out of the material that hoodie's made out of. Overall, I think two good vibes coming to the table. Two respectful vibes. A vibe has increased. Happy to have you guys. Garrick, the Jack Deuce, folds it. Tony. King 9 of Hearts in the hijack.
Chino in the cutoff.
Ace 10 for Chino. On to Michael in the big blind, who it's going to call. It's pretty cheap, you know. Play a pot here. Call. We go to a flop. 9-6 deuce. Both players have missed. Chino's still got the best of it for now, and looking to bet here with the ace 10. I think it's a you can check back here too with ace 10. You know, check or bet is reasonable. Back on Gagliano with king 7, which is not very good. It's not very good. You got to hope for like a king on the turn or an 8 for the open ender or a 7 to maybe make the best hand. You know, it's just not. It's okay to fold. I am going to play later Lucky Boxing. We're going to play a little bit tonight. We're going to play the Party Poker Million 215 to try and get through for Sunday. A little bit of prep for KO series, man, coming up on Sunday, man. It'll be fun. But I'm probably going to do about another. Or 3 hours, 40 minutes in. I don't know, maybe another hour of live commentary. We'll see. Something like that. I'm enjoying this for now. Should probably have a bit of dinner, too, before I get into actually playing. So at some point we'll do that. Garrick's going to fold the king 8 of spades. Michael with ace random. We don't know. We never get to know. Tony. Ace of spades, 9 of hearts. Look at these big hands. Fold. Jerry, jack 7. Daniel DeVoris, queen 4 clubs on the button. Doesn't have very many chips. 675,000, right? It's not not fun. I think the blinds are 60k, 30k with a 60k ante. That would make sense.
Daniel on the button. Queen 4 of clubs. Gonna go for a limp.
He's gonna just call here with the queen 4. Michael, queen 3. Trashy. I like the fold. And Chicago Bulls. Jacob. Queen of spades, 8 of hearts. Checks.
Jack 7 deuce. Couple of hearts. Jacobs. Queen 8 high is ahead, and he has the 8 of hearts.
Queen 8 is ahead.
Stab at it.
But both players are not happy, so it's probably going to go to the aggressor. I don't think Jacob has quite enough to float here or check raise or anything. It's probably just a folds.
Queen 4 suit on the button.
Yeah, that's it.
Myself, but gets the job done.
Yeah. The Netherlands, this is a great spot. I haven't explored too much in the Netherlands. I've only spent really like one full day in Amsterdam, and that's it. And I know there's so much more to your country than that. You know, I'm taking a train through it, a lot of layovers, of course, but I'd love to go to some more spots in the Netherlands and explore it more as a country. At least see like Rotterdam, you know, and some of the countryside. Chino with a queen 10 suited. I love the queen 10 suited. Especially spades. Such a pretty hand, man. Raise it up here.
Be the table captain here.
Jamie, how come some of the tourneys you play in Party Poker shows your real name and some others your avatar name? Yosemite. Real name tournaments and real name cash games and stuff like that are a new feature on Party Poker. And the premise is that some people may want to play with people where they know who they're playing against, you know? Where they don't want people to be able to hide behind a screen name. Especially like if you play in regular games, you see someone all the time. You want to know that that person is an actual human being. That's the idea. So especially in cash games, it's very relevant. But in tournaments, I hadn't heard of it happening yet, but it seems like there's some real name tournaments based on what you're saying. So it looks like it's being unveiled there somewhat, which is cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm in for real name stuff. Obviously, I broadcast myself. I know there's going to be a lot of people that don't want to broadcast their real name to people they play against, in which case you just play the real name stuff, you know? But I do think definitely in cash games, but for sure in, you know, potentially in tournaments and stuff in the future, I think it'll be more popular. Especially for me, if I'm playing a $500 tournament, so me right now, if I'm playing the 530 bounty, I would love to know who I'm actually playing against, like their real names. I'd love that. So that when I go play a live tournament with them, I'm like, oh yeah, I play with this guy all the time.
Jacob on the
like,
button,
what's
he
up?
finds an ace. He's very short. 8 bigs.
So yeah,
finding
we'll
their
see.
way into the middle of a felt.
To qualify for WPT German is real name on the tables. Right. So for the live events, it's already a thing.
Queen out of diamonds, but in the small blind.
Jake is going to move all in here on the button.
So him wanting to continue from that
Garrick
position.
with the queen 8. Folds it.
No ace.
Because for live tournaments, you don't want to qualify
squeeze them
under
out.
your alias and then get joined into the field on day 3 for a certain chip stack, and then people know the real person behind the alias. When the alias is supposed to be anonymous, right? So real name satellites is a thing. Michael folds. Nice hand, Jacob. Nice hand, Jacob. Gets it through. He probably wouldn't mind a call there with Jack 6, though, right? Blinds at 30,000, 60,000. 9-1. We are about 3.5 hours into the 9-hour broadcast here. But I think we should continue this tomorrow as well. Maybe we can finish up day 2 coverage tomorrow before the home game. And then tonight play Party Poker Million, big game phase 2, 320 Gladiator. Some good stuff, man. That's better. It's so I have a really big computer setup, as a lot of you guys will know. But if I leave like a white screen up on it, like I had Twitter open, which is a white theme, and it like blows up my face, you know. So I have to be wary of what's on my screen for the lighting, which is really is an incredible problem to have, but it's it's a little ridiculous too. Garrick is going to raise up 5 deuce of clubs here on the button. All right. Garrick likes to play. We know that.
Garrick on the button.
Now, Tony with 7, 6 of spades,
Tony, of course, will defend.
which is the thing.
7 of spades in the big blind.
You have an option here, Tony. You have a choice to make here, my friend. It looks like the call chips are there. There it is. Call chips are in. Tony sick or something? It seems so. Wow, look at this.
What a flop.
Tony's dead, man.
Deuce, deuce, 5.
Tony
Flops the
Filoni
house.
is dead. Look at this.
Tony
Deuce, deuce,
flopping a
5.
flush
Garrick has
draw.
flopped a full house. Tony
This is a
has
signer.
flopped a flush draw on a board that doesn't hit anyone. Who can have
There's
this?
some chips here.
Garrick raising the button. What do you mean Garrick has a full house? Tony's dead, dude. This is it for Tony. Oh, Tony, please, man. Figure out how to be a ninja and get away your... Boise Poker, thanks for the 7-month resub, man. Welcome back to the team. I really appreciate it, dude. You resubbed at just the time where this is a pain for Tony Filoni.
Theory, he has a lot of hands he just gives up with.
Check. Bet
Seems the order of the day. That's what it is.
of
75K.
75,000. It's a very small bet.
Does Tony raise or does he call?
If Tony just calls, then it's okay. Then we're fine. All right, but if Tony raises, which I would raise here in the big blind for sure, because the big blind has more twos, right? You wouldn't think Garrick would raise all of his twos, his suited twos, but in the big blind, you call all your suited twos. So this is definitely a good spot for Tony to raise. But we know it would be disaster. But he calls. Tony can stay alive here, potentially. We'll see. No spade on the turn. Do not put a spade on the turn. Thank you.
Gut shot, straight draw on the turn.
It's kind of a scary one, though, because Tony picks up a straight draw as well. 8 would give him a straight. Tony, be a ninja, man. Survive, dude. Survive. Survive this. Oh, he's leading.
Well, it seems like he's coming out with a lead
He's leading. 140,000. Now, if I'm Garrick in this spot, you just call.
Garrick's
Like,
up against him.
if Tony has something
Big
decent,
hand of fives.
good.
Lots
Keep
of
doing your
handful
thing.
hands.
And if he doesn't, we'll let him keep bluffing. So just call if you're Garrick.
You can't quite believe
But
his
let's
luck.
see what
Can't
he
anything
elects
else-
to do.
Anything else but calling here.
No, 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 no. Garrick, just call, please. Yes, good, Garrick. Nice.
There's
Okay,
No reason to raise.
good one,
Allow your opponent to bluff. Allow him to catch something.
Tony. It's
And,
over. Oh,
That's what Tony's done.
It's
He's made
over.
a flush on the end.
it's over. It's over for Tony. It's over, man.
He's going to be jammed on.
The 4 spades. Tony has a flush. Garrick has flopped the full house. Check.
He's gone for the check instead. Feign some weakness. Surprised. Garrick just has so many hands that
Now,
can check back here.
Garrick referencing for how many chips do you have,
This is a mistake.
which is a bit of a tell here.
May save him.
It's a bit of a tell.
Garrick it's big here. Tony may get away with just calling.
Is there any chance that Tony talks himself into, I should just call because what if he has a higher flush? No, I don't think that's a good move for Tony. I think Tony should actually have bet, and when he checks here, he should raise the river. But I don't... Hopefully he just becomes a nit and he just calls and he stays alive. Because I want Tony Filoni part of this tournament. I need Tony Filoni at this table.
Tony.
He just
quickly
calls. Yes. Oh, Tony. You're still alive. You're angry, dude, but you could have busted. You could have been out of this tournament, man.
Did well to not go bust.
It wasn't expected.
Leaves himself with 800k.
Yeah, man, nice hand. Deuce fine.
Tony, man. You're a legend for not busting. Be happy about that, Tony. This is a glass half empty, half full situation, my friend. And listen, I know you're English. The glass is always half empty. I understand, okay? But Tony, please, maybe consider that you surviving is a miracle sent from the poker gods, man.
Game. Easy game, nice watch. Yeah, sick watch. I'm big? Okay.
That watch is trippy, man. What's going on with the spinning watch, man?
For the fans, you know. Raise the deuce five suited.
Yeah, right.
That was the internet on that one.
I don't know what it was, but it sucked for you, huh? You want to know the good news?
Tony Filoni, dude, you got to feel for him. You got to feel for him, Tony Filoni. Moving on, though. Jerry's going to raise it up with the A7 of clubs under the gun. Fold, fold. Fold. Card reader's almost catching up here. we're almost caught up to real-time action. Mr. Filoni will fold on 760K. Having a tough one. Chino in the big blind with the Jack 9. Comes along.
Not 5 high, gap 3 ways, gap in 3 spots. I believe you. You know what?
Why are you calling him Tony Baloney? Tony Filoni. Well, it's spelled Felone or something, but it's probably Filone. But Tony Filoni is funnier, you know what I mean? So it's Tony Filoni. I think Tony has corona. This was in November, so I hope not. The poker community is infected if he had coronavirus in November.
There was no 5 high in my hand either.
Chino get a check. Jerry goes for the bet. And Chino folds.
That's what I do. I just take his cards and throw them right in the muck.
Maybe some old school players are a big fan of that.
Yeah. You guys are all too new.
Jerry chipping up. Jerry's been pretty tight, you know, pretty quiet, but like, fair play. Got some more chips. Sometimes you have guys that'll just slide under the radar like that, and it's a good strategy, right? It's like, it works well. And just keep sliding.
21 years ago. Professionally, like, 15 years ago, whatever it is. But when I started playing, 21 years ago, bro. We started around the same time. Yeah, right.
Moving on.
How old are you?
I'm 37.
Yeah, I'm only 2 years older than you. But we old as fuck. Time flies, bro. How many kids you got? 2. Yeah, see, I ain't got no kids.
How's everything going? Good, T Grinder. Doing well, man. Any big plans for 2020? I haven't catch many of your streams lately. Missed the good old vibes from the OG like you. Keep it up no matter what direction you take. Thank you, T Grinder. The plan is more the same, like as much streaming as I can. I'm mixing in a lot more live poker with online poker as like sort of a lead in to the online stuff, so that's fun.
Gang is raising up. Sixes.
And Party Poker Team Online. Just do as best as I can to help the team and help Party Poker grow. That's kind of it, man. It's like a lot less adventurous than previous years of my life, you know? There's not any crazy prop bets. There's not any crazy moves to different countries around the world. There's not any live poker. It's just like we're doing what we're doing and just head down and get after it, you know what I mean? The adventures are on pause for a bit. How you feeling for Spurs after the window? No, we have tomorrow, but doubt we will sign a striker from DJJMC. Good spot here for Jerry. Michael's going to bet. So to be honest, I don't know enough about football to know if this window was good or not, because I don't know anything about the players that we're signing. I mean, Giovanni Lo Celso looked amazing the last game that he played. He seems to be smashing, so I'm really excited about him. I really like his personality as well. He seems like a good dude. And was it Van Gerwen is our new signing, or who's our new signing? I forget. Seems good. Again, I've never seen the guy play, so I don't know if he's good. I just don't know enough, man. I'm not a sophisticated enough football fan to tell whether we've got good things or bad things out of this window. But yeah, it's always nice to see new blood. You know, Eriksson was like clearly on his way out. Danny Rose, it looks like probably going to be on loan to Newcastle soon. Doesn't seem happy, Danny Rose. I don't know. Yeah. Stephen Berwin. There it is. Do you miss the time of the crazy prop bets and traveling more? No, I definitely don't miss the prop bets. I mean, the prop bets were insane, but not fun at all. The traveling was cool, but it's just like less productive from a work point of view, you know? I've got a really great opportunity here to make a big difference, so I don't miss it.
Flush
But
draws.
there'll be a time in my life where I travel again,
Hands like this. Top two
and
pair.
I
Of course,
see
be
parts of the
careful.
world, and
Easily beaten. Yeah, still
I'm
queens,
less busy.
jacks,
But
tens,
the next
ace,
several
king,
years are
queens,
not that.
jacks,
I have a
sort of raise with
3-year
plus
deal
one.
with Party Poker. So like, for me, I'm committed to, for those
Can't
3
play this
years,
hand
to
again,
like
maybe.
doing as best as I can to make a big impact, and that's online for me. You know, traveling around is not how I can help them best. Danny Rose confirmed to Newcastle now. Okay, wasn't sure if he was or not. So, anyways, picking up the action.
Pot sweltering up.
Bet Nicole on the
1.6
turn. It's a pretty big pot.
million.
1.6 million in the middle. Deuce of hearts in the end.
Flush draw competes.
This could be a scary card for Jerry, but I mean, you've got top two pair. You're just not
Bad
folding
card for
here.
Jerry.
And is Michael going to continue with the story?
King jack,
'Cause here's the thing.
hand.
Michael raising out of the gun can have ace king. He can have king nine suited. He can have 9-8 suited. He can have sets of queens, sets of jacks, sets of tens. He can have all those things. He can also have the ace high flush draw that just got there. You know, the ace 8 of hearts, the ace 7 of hearts. He can have. So it's kind of scary for Jerry. And for Michael, he's got to think about, like, do I continue the story here and go for the bluff? I would respect it. I don't think it's going to work here, but I would definitely respect the move.
Jerry checks over for the third time. Gag's gonna fire one more at this. One last desperate shell. No, he does decide to give it up. Got a little out of line on the turn. Didn't compound
Check,
the
check.
error. Would have made a lot of hands fold on the turn. 10, maybe even some weak jacks.
Michael gives up, and good time to give up. There you go.
I would have won a nice
Queen
spot.
Jack taking it down. Taking it down. Have you played any of the casinos in Edinburgh? I haven't, dude. The last time I played live poker was, I believe... Oh, no, I played in Birmingham
Yeah, for the old
when I was living in London. So it would have been about a year ago. We did a meetup in Birmingham, I think.
For a long fucking time. too.
Pretty old too.
Yeah, you've been around for a minute too, for sure.
When did you start?
Was that a year ago?
2009, 8.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a year ago.
Played online a little bit.
When I was living in London, maybe? Or was I living in Harrogate?
35?
I was living in Harrogate, man.
34 and a half.
So yeah, the last time I played poker was the PSPC, the 25K in the Bahamas. That was the last live poker hand I played, which is 12 and a half months ago, which is crazy to me because I really like live poker, but it's not very productive, you know.
I don't even know why I'm even talking about it.
I do miss it sometimes, but I get too much poker in my life, like too many hours a week
That I am.
of
That I am.
of poker.
I'm getting old.
I've been
So
playing
ace
for 10
six
years, so
in
it's not like
go.
I'm
12
obsessed and like I want to fill every moment of my life with poker. I really enjoy it, but
Only two
just the
gaps,
stream time is plenty of poker for me, and I'm fulfilled, and like that's enough
Them pretty ones.
of pursuing my passion in playing, you know. So I generally don't play in non-stream times.
Gonna rip it in. Daniel the short stack in the big.
Jerry is gonna raise it up at the small blind with the 8-7, all in. Daniel DeVoris only has 700K, and Jerry takes it down.
I didn't want to do all that. I
Bring it
just-
on. Let's go.
Nah,
November
that's why-
2018 was
that's
the
why I
Birmingham
just
meetup,
folded.
I think. That's it,
Boys
man.
had- you boys
That's
had
it.
fun.
That was a good one, though. It was fun. It was a good time. All right. Action on Jacob with the ace-7 under the gun. It's just going to fold about 10 big blinds, but too many players at the table to shove all in with that one. It's just not quite good enough. If you had ace-10, you're in there. Ace-7 offsuit, not so much. Michael looks down at king-10 offsuit. He's got 1 million chips to start the hand, so about 18 big blinds.
Michael +2.
He's going to give it a raise. Tony in the hijack. Tony Filoni
Tony having a tank queen 5.
Gives
suited.
it up.
He ain't playing that hand.
Scott's Flops dropping this up with the Twitch Prime. Welcome to the team, Scott's Flops. Thank you very much for your support, my friend. I appreciate it.
Small.
Hearts on the chat for that subscription. Thank you, dude.
Big gift for this hand to be suited.
Daniel now with ace-9. In the small blind, has 675,000. It's not much, so I think the standard move is all in. But it really depends on what Daniel DeVoris thinks about Michael's range. You know, does he think Michael's aggressive and capable of raising a lot of hands or not? And he folds. And I can tell you the reason he probably folds here is because Michael has raised off a million stack. So it has to be pretty tight off that stack. And Daniel DeVoris
James,
probably
4-5.
assumes he's not winning enough
Off in
with the
big.
ace-9. I mean, we can see he's wrong in this situation, but that's probably the assumption he
raise.
made. His opponent raising off a short stack is a dangerous play, especially when you're talking two high rollers. They know poker well.
Oh yeah.
So, thank you again, Scott's Flops. Colin Capone, what's up, Colin? How's it going, man? Hope you are feeling better. I am, dude. I'm feeling much better today and yesterday, actually. Like, after it was done, it was kind of done, and that was it. But hopefully that doesn't happen again.
10, 8,
That'd be really
6.
scary.
Couple of diamonds.
Painful.
Michael, top pair. King kicker. King of diamonds.
Michael with the
Really
dream
good for his
flop
hand.
with the king 10, man. You gotta love that with king 10.
Shorter stack.
They're both Michaels, though.
Want to bet get this in?
American Michael has a gut shot here.
I expect to see a larger sizing on this texture as well.
Cheers, Scott's Flop. Cheers, man.
Not
Yeah,
that
Scotland's
large,
great.
just under half
I wish I didn't have such
Maybe a bit
allergies
bigger
to
than
the air here, but other than that, I really enjoy it. It's great. It's beautiful. Nice hand, Michael. Moving on. All right, guys, we're about 4 hours into the stream here. I figure I should probably grab a bite to eat, which the nice thing about live commentary is I can just keep it rolling. But I think I'm going to get like some yogurt and crunch. Gonna have a bit of food. And then after that, we should probably wrap up and play online poker, right? It's probably a good plan. Let's play another hand here, but I think moving to the online part would be good. It's 8 p.m. here. Play online till about midnight. Quick read and workout. That'd be good, I think.
Garrick, 6 is under the gun.
So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
Fighting upon the
We'll
2.5
see.
times.
We'll see. Garrick's raising it up. The 6s. Holds around to Jacob in the big blind with ace of
Jacob,
spades,
the
3 of
short
spades.
Stack. Ace 3 suited in the big. He's going to have to peel this one.
It's good.
Just hope to flop something.
Jacob calls. All right. 2 a flop.
Less than 2 tons pot behind. Just basically an open.
That's
Not
a 6 for
flop
Garrick.
again.
Jacob
Garrick,
unfortunately doesn't have anything though. And on a very short stack, it's going to be tough for him to put any money in. Garrick's only chance is if he can check here. And he could. Because look, there's 390k in the middle. Jacob only has 410k.
Lot size bet.
So you could slow play. But no, it's going to be a bet fold. It's going to be a bet fold.
Small bet and no action, of course.
All right.
Jacob,
Okay, guys, I'm going to grab a
we
bit of
go
food.
text
So I'm
him
just
that
going to mute the
ball
mic.
against the
And I'll
other
leave it
pitcher.
running for you guys. I'll turn it up a bit. I'll be back in a few minutes, okay? Probably give me like 8 so I can have a bit of food. But I'll be watching along with you and in the chat. Stay with me.
Daniel in the cutoff. The king of spades. 11 bigs. A lot of cards are going to add up to a jam here.
What was wifey? Oh, well, now she's
All
just
in?
a mama since she's home, right?
680.
Tough to travel.
How long you been with her?
Long time? 12 years.
Oh, okay.
Garrick tuts and shakes his head like he's running
I
bad.
was gonna get married once. But didn't happen.
Only flopped a full house in a set this orbit.
Spoiler alert, didn't happen. I mean, looking back, I'm glad I did it. You know? Because sometimes I'll be like, fuck, we getting old. You know? You don't want to die alone and shit.
True.
You're getting old. Then again, I'm like, I don't know if because I got a lot of friends who have kids that are young kids, you know? And like Uncle Chino's over all the time and fucking, I love playing with him and shit, but then,
You get to give them back.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. They're good for like 2 days.
I don't know, man. Kids are fun though.
Kids are fun. Kids are so much fun.
You have one or two, right?
I have two, yeah.
Your Neil's having one too.
Yes, yes. I did hear that. Soon.
I love doing stuff with them. It's just like, you know, of course I gotta respect like all of
Jacob
that,
6
so, yeah,
bigs.
can I
On the button,
give
queen
them
4
this?
diamonds. These will
If
find the
you
middle.
gotta have this, you know?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of times where they're just like JC will be like, yo, bro, you can't be giving Peyton like a burger at like, you know, like 9 at night. And she was like, bro, it was a Happy Meal, you know? Like, he's like, no, bro, you can't be doing that, you know?
Michael, the king and the big, calls it off. Jack 10-3. Jacob needing some help. Does pick up some running draws with the diamond on board. Well, here he comes. King 8 or 4 now does the trick. No, diamond a little bit too late.
That's his best turn card except for a fucking queen.
Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Pick somewhere else.
Jacob bites the dust.
Oh, I guess it could have been like
It's good for me.
9 of diamonds.
Yeah.
That's the best card.
Oh, with that pot, Michael back to a slightly more comfortable 27 big blinds. Daniel and Tony still the shortest, both below the starting stack. In fact, Chino still leading the way on this feature table. Jerry Wong not too far behind. Garrick had a fast start on our feature, flopping a house, winning a big pot against Tony. Finds himself with 46 big blinds. Gags in the middle there with around about 40 bigs. Still a few minutes left on this level.
This yogurt is lit,
I
chat.
can
Just
tell
so you
you
know.
we'll change up the feature table after the break.
Hope you're having fun.
Quite a lineup table, including the likes of Dmitry Urbanovich, Simon Debman, Andy Frankenberger, Kristen Bicknell, all on the next feature table. Chino, though, for now on this feature, finding a big hand, queens under the gun. We've seen him play a lot of hands, but not that many pairs. And well, wouldn't you know it, Daniel Dvoros, thinking it's payday, he finds the other 2 queens, he's going to rip this in, be delighted, and find out he's chopping.
All in.
Fair.
Very fair. I'm happy with a chop right now. We don't even have to run it. But I mean, we have to, but we don't have to.
We do indeed have to. Barring a miracle,
Wanna
of course,
trade your
will
queen
be a
of
chop
diamonds
pot.
for my queen of hearts?
Is that funner for you? You could kill it now.
What? It was already killed.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like they don't have to run the turn and river, you know? For the camera? We made 60, 60, 30, 120, 150. We made 75K each.
That's what he was hoping for, that hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, Daniel being very patient. Finally got his hand, and against the most active player at the table. When you know it, it's a chop.
Better than losing, bro.
One information for you guys: when you come back, you will find out your chips and all the table will be table 75 on the left. Okay?
So we all get moved to the same table down there?
No,
Is that?
not the same table because you are on the 40, but you will be on the last table over there.
Yeah, but the same people, right?
Yeah, same table.
Yeah, of course.
Exactly the same table, and you can go back.
That's what I'm saying. We get moved to a different tables, all of us?
All of you.
Okay.
Yeah, we can change it.
So we're playing.
You're gonna move the chips, right?
No dinner break.
No dinner.
Okay.
You're gonna move the chips?
We will gonna move it
Oh, so no dinner break. We just keep playing.
Yeah.
Like,
until 125.
okay, got you.
The 125 will be all in the money, and tomorrow you're gonna
Okay.
start with the online.
Thanks. Damn, I wanted like a full table change. That's what I was hoping for. Play with 7 totally different new people. Good or bad, I gamble. Am I looking?
Tony in the small is going to be jamming
I
these
won't even
sevens.
Oh, I'm looking. We looking.
I've got to pass, so you got to look.
What did you say?
Well,
I don't mind doing it. I'm happy.
that may well get a call from Chino hearing
I'm
those
probably
words.
gonna let you have this, but I'm thinking about it. I might call you.
I don't mind.
I know.
Understand.
Sorry. 5 what?
Hey man,
6?
we're
35?
doing commentary on this tournament, but I'm just having a little dinner break.
36.
But this tournament has already happened, but it's also lit.
He does call it will be a flip.
Let's go.
He wasn't lying. It was a pair.
He told you, yeah.
I told you.
I mean, whatever.
Listen, I'm
What are you waiting for?
on the break. Yeah.
I wasn't really paying attention to that part. I was really just more in my head thinking for a second.
I need a double up, please, dealer. 7 of clubs, please. Oh, fuck me. Okay. Yeah.
Queen in the window. Just a 7 will do it now for Tony. He did hit a 7 earlier with 7s.
Don't forget the mic, yeah.
Can he do it again?
Boom. Nice.
Well, Tony doing the very early walk. This is better than the backpack on. He's already off the stage.
Yeah, you could say nice hand.
I kind of wanted to have to call him back.
Yeah. Don't no, that's not nice. Don't
Yep.
do that to him.
Dinner was great. Thanks for asking, chat.
Saying I wanted him to hit it.
Chino
Oh, it was good. That is an early walk. I mean, that's where you root for the 7, just so that the guy's gonna come back. You know, you gotta root for it there. All right, so they're actually switching tables in like a couple minutes, which will be a good time to break so that we can switch to online poker, so that tomorrow, when we come back, we can play the final 5 hours or so of coverage. So if you guys enjoyed it today, make sure you tune back in tomorrow, and we'll do the final 5 hours of day 2. But we'll play until we get a table change here. I want to watch Jamie play. It's coming soon, my friends. The next 10 minutes. I'll have to start up the delay, of course, so it'll go blank for you for 4 minutes, and then
Yeah, well, I had to fucking do that in my head real quick first. I ain't never said I was a
and then we'll play, and we'll hopefully win.
Eric
Fingers
Kane
crossed.
cut off.
Play the 215 Party Poker Million. 320 Gladiator for sure.
I did hear the pair part though, but
Maybe just start with those two. You could play the 215 Masters. Ooh, Garrick.
Chino.
Looking down at the Kings. Chino in the small line with ace-10 is going to call.
Small with ace 10.
And Jerry now in the big blind with 9-6.
Jerry 9-6 off in the big, closing the action. Expect to see him
not
put in
do
the call.
5 this hand.
Or is he in fact going to 3-bet?
I didn't say you did.
Garrick call opening with 5
I
deuce
can't
earlier.
talk about it.
Chino just cold calling from the small.
Big hand for Garrick.
Just through.
But can we play a big pot? Jamie, I won a 215 ticket into the 30K guaranteed tournament. LFG. To Buck. Congratulations, man. Good luck in that tourney, dude. To the flop. 10-3 deuce. This is trouble for Chino.
Check top pair, top kicker.
This is big time trouble because top pair, top kicker,
Garrick.
pretty dry board, and Garrick has got
There's action
kings.
for Chino. There's a very strong hand on this broken board.
Right, yeah, sorry. Sorry, I forgot. I need to change it to the right side. I'll get it fixed.
Chino is going to come in for a check raise with top pair, top kicker. Garrick. And have a dream spot.
Betting a raise now from Chino. Down to 2, so I'll switch the cam back.
Like this and allow Chino to bluff.
Thank you, Joe Seg K. Thank you, man. And this is a little bit of trouble for Chino. This could be a huge pot.
First
Garrick
one of
calls.
those 500k chips in action.
1.2 million in the middle. It's a 10. Oh my God, Chino's made trips.
10 on the turn. Now he's just
Terrible news for Garrick
gonna
now.
bet this turn, jam the river.
What a turn. Simple Poker, thanks for the 101 bits. Thank you, thank you.
Very nice spot to have a 10. Garrick
Wow,
could have one himself, but of course,
this is a disaster.
his pocket pairs are going to want to continue on this card. Just decision on sizing. He's gone half pot.
Bit of 600,000. Chino just figuring out how can I get all the money. That's about half pot. And it's an incredibly tough spot for Garrick because
Ace 4, ace
you
5.
got kings. I mean, how can you fold here? You're getting 3-1 odds. You have the overpair. I mean, your opponent doesn't always check raise a 10. It's really hard for him to have a 10. Wow.
Any hands you're really worried about?
That's a call.
10, set deuces and a set threes.
There's now 2.4 million in the middle. Going to the river. Garrick has 1.6 million back. 7 on the end. It's a brick. It's about as dry of a board as you can get. It's basically, does Chino have trip 10s or not? That's Garrick's equation here.
Jam. All those backdoor draws missed.
Chino shoves.
Can Garrick get away from this against Chino? I don't know if he can. I mean, he has some 10s. Bet the flop. Called the check raise. So he does have stronger hands than the kings to call off with here. That's not a lot compared to how many hands he has to fold.
This is pretty sick.
Kind of works.
The thing is that Chino
Potential hands. King Jack club.
should not have that many check raises on this flop, and it's a terrible turn to bluff. It's awful. You don't pick up any outs unless you have backdoor clubs somehow.
Straight draws.
So it's just like, it's not a very like a bluff heavy flop. You're going to see a lot of floats as opposed to check raises. Turns awful to bluff.
Such a tough spot.
But it is Chino RHEEM, a very aggressive player. So it's just like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, main concern, of course, is those sets, threes and deuces. He doesn't think Chino check raises many 10s on the flop. King 10 and ace 10.
It's a good point the announcer brings up there as well.
Not too many combos.
I don't think Chino check raises very many 10s on the flop, which is true as well. Like, not always is Chino going to check raise a top pair, top kicker on that floor,
With
on that
Chino,
board.
bluff
You know,
is
like,
run out.
he's going to raise, check raise Jack 10.
When you fire a brick river.
Yeah, exactly, Big Alex. Exactly right. That's it. So it's a really difficult spot for Garrick. I mean, I can't fault him. Probably call and lose.
This is
We know he's going to lose if he calls. He's lost no matter what. It's just how much.
Well, he's burning all 4 of his time banks in this pot. Not that surprising.
It looks like this is going to be the last hand before table change. I'll turn it up.
hard to fold this, and he does call it off. Can't fault him there. Unlucky. Very unlucky for Garrick. Against other players you can fold. Against Chino, I just don't think you can. And wow.
Yeah, it's a
What
good
a
point by the
final.
commentator. I mean, it's so difficult. I mean, GG for respect of the Kings. What a sick turn card. That turn card is just pukey, man. And it looks like they're going to break tables here. So this is the ending chip stacks for us. Chino RHEEM on 8 million. Jerry Wong on 3.3. Michael Gagliano on 2.3. Michael Soiza on 1.6. And Daniel DeVoris staying alive on 900K, but just 11 big blinds at this point. Going into 40K, 80K with an 80K ante.